Welcome back to Whitt Acres. Today I'm coming up to the barn to take care of a few things and give you an update on what happened to Leo. Hey ladies, how y'all doing? Hey Piper, you being nice to the chickens? Yeah, you being nice to everybody because you're a big girl. I don't want you picking on my little ladies. So I moved Piper down into the pasture here, and she's sleeping inside the barn with the rest of the chickens at night. And now everything behind the barn is actually empty. And it's really sad to see all this empty back here, because if you've been watching the channel, this was pretty much what I've been working on all year long, was building these two huts and pens. And now we have nothing in them. So the day before Thanksgiving, I went to work, and when I got home in the afternoon, I came up, checked on all the animals, and Leo was missing. When I left for work in the morning, I had Piper and Leo both closed up here in the pen, but they are capable of flying over the fence. We did try clipping their wings, but I don't think we went far enough, so we might try and do that again. But Piper does sometimes jump over the fence, head down to all the other birds, and jump into the pasture fence with all the ducks and the chickens. Leo is a little bit bigger than Piper and not as agile, so it would take him a little bit of time before he would jump out of the pen, if he would. And the couple of times that he did get over the fence out of his pen, he was always pacing the fence down here on the pasture, trying to get to Piper. And now that the corn's down, I don't see him trying to cross that massive open field with not knowing that anything's on the other side of it. So he'd definitely be coming down to the front of the barn to try and find Piper like he always does. And she's not hard to find. She's right here, huh, girl? But when I came up to check on him, the gate was still closed up there and Leo was gone. There was no sign of any struggle or any other predator coming through. And I always have some chickens walking around on the outside of the fence anyway. So with having over 60 birds out here, if an animal predator came through, I doubt it's actually just going to grab my biggest bird. But the barn up here is off-grid, so all the lights and anything that I have up here is just battery or solar. And I also have motion lights all around here for night, but Leo actually went missing during the day while I was gone at work. I've had some people commenting on getting a livestock guardian dog. That's just not the way I like to do farming. I don't want to have a guardian dog just out there all the time with the animals and exposed to any predator that comes through, because if it is a human and they have a gun, then a livestock guardian dog's no threat. And the dog I have now will protect all the animals here on the farm, but he is actually worth more than all the animals put together, so I'm not going to be leaving him out as the line of defense for him. I am working on getting more fencing put up, and I added some cameras, but there's only so much I can do as I'm still building this homestead. It's not like I have everything that I can just throw up all at once, so I'm still trying to create the whole thing piece by piece. And cameras and electric fence and all those other things that would be nice to protect the homestead actually cost money, and I don't have a lot of that. So I'm just using what I have and doing the best I can. I am laying out an area here to add some more fencing to close off this corner going back to the turkey hut. That way this whole backside will be closed off to any predators coming out of the woods and crossing the whole cornfield. And then I can start keeping the animals in this back area, giving them some extra space, as well as fertilizing the ground up here, trying to get some topsoil down so it can actually grow some grass. It's real thin and hard and dry up here, so it always has trouble growing the grass. And I'm also going to be cleaning up this side here so I can put this shorter gate that I have leaning here across this section that will connect the new chain link fence that we just got up. That way I can still have storage back there, but I can have this all closed off so the animals can stay contained in here and keep them pushed all the way down to the front of the barn. I'm not quite sure how I want to close off this front area to contain the birds, if I will, because I want to keep this pretty much open and accessible so we can bring in the trailer when we're dropping off animals or picking up animals, or whenever I'm bringing in my truck all the time to drop off feed. They have this pasture here that they've been running through, and I'm trying to get this finished up this winter, and then we'll be adding another pasture on the other side of this one, running out where we had the chicken tractors. Huh, Piper? Yeah, you're my lone turkey now, girl. Yeah. And that sucks. I had 2 male turkeys. If I knew one was going to get stolen, I would have just kept both of them and I'd still have one. Hey, Sammy. But now that you're all caught up to what's been going on this holiday, I am going to be adding a little bit of fence here to where we left off the chain link. I have this roll of 2x4 fencing that I was using for the meat turkey bubble, and I don't want to leave it here not being used all winter, so I'm just going to add this to where we left off the chain link fencing. Thanks, Sammy. It won't be permanent, but I think it'll help redirect the chickens from going into the neighbors and keeping them onto my property, so I think it'll just help a little bit. What are you doing, Piper? You're biting me, girl. But the birds are getting talkative, so they're wanting to get out. So I'm going to get this bubble fence stretched out and set up over there so we can let these birds out in a little bit. Alright, I got a couple of these posts pounded in back here that connect to where we left off with the chain link fence. It doesn't match up with the property line, so it's just a temporary fence, but it will curve around here to contain the chickens and the other birds from crossing the driveway line. At least hopefully. We'll see how much fence we have left on this scrap roll. Piper, you be nice to those chickens. Yeah. Piper, you be nice to my chickens. Don't be picking on Bert. If you have been watching the channel, you know the plan never was to keep the turkey with all the chickens. I'm worried that the turkey are a little bit too big and they're gonna pick on my chickens. But I also can't keep Piper alone now that Leo's gone, so we gotta do what we gotta do. Like carrying a roll of fencing with one hand. All right. There we go, that's the starting point. Good and rolled out, pup. See, we already have a couple of ladies venturing down through the hemlock row. That's why I'm trying to get this fence down here to wrap them around. But this gives them so much more space to wander around, and they really like the cover of the hemlock trees. Alright, this bubble actually stretched right to this maple tree like I was hoping it would. I do have to get some zip ties to tighten it up, but I think this might actually work. This fence should wrap the chickens right back around into all this fun forage I can go through. Alright, well I got it tied up, and it is a little bit ripply coming over the dirt mound here, but I'm not too worried about that. Like I said, it's just temporary, and it should help keep the chickens in. Just help keep curving them around until they get right back on the right path. Like I said, I'm building this homestead piece by piece. Eventually, I would like to do a full perimeter fence, and then I can have the animal enclosures, and then whenever I want, I can just let all the animals out to free range all over the whole property. But for now, I'm just trying to do the best balance of open space for them and safety. That's going to be all for this one. It was a really sad update with Leo, but we have to keep continuing on. I really do want that turkey sound to be back on the property, so we will end up getting another male turkey. I don't know if I'll get one from someone else that already has one raised up, or if I'll just have to grow one out next year. But we're going to continue on here on the homestead, so if you want to follow along, hit the subscribe button, hit that like button before you leave, and if you want to help support the channel even more, hit that join button and see all the extra features you can get. You can see me and Echo on the next one. Thanks for watching. You already know Echo's watching.